The screen flared to life in a smoky Akron bar, cutting off a muted Monday Night Football broadcast. Breaking news: missing Ohio teen found alive after a decade, the anchor declared, her voice sharp with urgency. A faded photo of 15-year-old Lydia Harper filled the frame, braces glinting, chestnut hair in a loose ponytail, eyes bright with a teenager's hope. The name Lydia Harper pulsed in bold red letters. Outside a beige ranch house on Birchwood Drive, police lights slashed through the dusk, SWAT officers swarming like ants. The camera caught a stretcher rolling from the basement, a skeletal figure shrouded in a gray blanket, her face obscured. Patrons set down their Miller lights, jaws slack. Who was Lydia Harper? And what horrors had she endured? 10 years earlier, in the fall of 2015, Lydia was a gangly freshman at Firestone High School in Akron, Ohio. She lived for art class, her sketchbook filled with charcoal drawings of the Cuyahoga River and portraits of her mom, Cheryl, whose laugh lines deepened with every shift at the Goodyear tire factory. Lydia's world was small, but vibrant. Friday nights at the Taco Bell on Market Street, splitting supreme nachos with her best friends, Kayla and Mia, sneaking peeks at 17 magazine at the Rite Aid, and blasting Taylor Swift's 1989 through her knockoff earbuds. Her MySpace page was a collage of glittery gifs and mirror selfies in her red Firestone Falcons hoodie. Cheryl, a single mom since Lydia's dad bailed a decade earlier, kept their duplex near Goodyear Park running on grit and Folgers coffee. They weren't rich, but Lydia dreamed big, maybe the Cleveland Institute of Art, maybe a summer in New York City sketching street performers in Central Park. That October, Akron was crisp with falling leaves and the buzz of high school football. Lydia stayed late after a Firestone Falcons game, perched in the bleachers, sketching cheerleaders' pirouettes under the floodlights. Her pencil danced across the page, capturing the swirl of pom-poms and the crowd's roar. By 9 p.m., the stadium emptied, and she started her 15-minute walk home along Talmadge Avenue. The route was familiar, past the neon glow of the Dollar General, the shuttered Blockbuster with its faded posters, and the flickering streetlights near West Market Street. She didn't notice the white Chevy van parked near Merriman Road, its engine idling softly. She didn't see the man inside, his knuckles white on the wheel, his breath fogging the glass. Ronald Gant was 42, a drifter in plain sight. To neighbors, he was Ron, the guy who mowed lawns in summer and plowed driveways in winter, always paid in cash. His ranch house on Birchwood Drive blended into the suburban sprawl, beige siding, a rusty mailbox, a faded American flag flapping in the breeze. He kept to himself, nodding politely at block parties, but never staying long. No one knew about the basement he'd spent years fortifying: concrete walls, soundproof foam, a steel door with 3 deadbolts. He called it his workshop, waving off questions with a shrug. Behind his blank eyes, a sickness festered. Ronald had been watching Lydia since August. He'd seen her at the Sunoco gas station, buying a Mountain Dew and a Snickers, her sketchbook tucked under her arm. He'd lingered at the Akron Summit County Library, pretending to read The Plain Dealer while she doodled in a corner. He memorized her walk home, the way her sneakers scuffed the sidewalk, the rhythm of her ponytail. On that October night, he was ready. As Lydia passed the van, he moved like a trap snapping shut. A rag doused in chloroform clamped over her mouth, her muffled cry swallowed by the night. The van's door slid shut, and she was gone. A stray cat darted across the street. The wind carried an empty Doritos bag. Akron slept on. Lydia woke in darkness, her head throbbing, her wrists zip-tied behind her. The air was damp, heavy with the scent of mildew and WD-40. A fluorescent bulb flickered on, revealing a concrete cell, a stained mattress on the floor, a plastic bucket in the corner, a rusty radiator hissing faintly. Ronald loomed in the doorway, his flannel shirt untucked, his voice low and deliberate. "This is your home now, Angel." Lydia screamed until her throat bled, but the sound died against the walls. The basement was a void, sealed from the world. For 10 years, Lydia's life was that room. Ronald kept her alive, but barely. Breakfast was Campbell's tomato soup, lukewarm from a can. Dinner was Wonder Bread and Spam, sometimes a bruised apple. He gave her a transistor radio, stuck on a Christian talk station preaching fire and brimstone. He brought her a stack of dog-eared Reader's Digest magazines from the 90s, their pages yellowed. Her clothes came from Goodwill floral dresses, shapeless cardigans, nothing like the Abercrombie tees she'd loved. He'd sit on a metal folding chair, watching her eat, his eyes crawling over her. "You're mine," he'd say, his voice a mix of reverence and menace. Defiance a thrown spoon, a spat curse brought punishment, days in total darkness, the radiator off, the bucket unemptied. She learned to nod, to shrink, to survive. Above ground, Ronald was a ghost in plain sight. He worked odd jobs, blending into Akron's blue-collar rhythm. He mowed lawns for the Wilsons, cleared snow for the Patels, fixed fences for the O'Connors. At the VFW on Exchange Street, he poured Budweisers for grizzled veterans, chuckling at their war stories. When Lydia Harper flooded Akron with missing posters, Ronald stapled them to telephone poles, his face a mask of pity. "Hope they find her," he'd mutter, tossing a poster in his Vin's glove box. Cheryl, gutted by loss, spiraled. She quit Goodyear, leaning on OxyContin to dull the ache. The police chased dead ends a creepy gym teacher, a rumored boyfriend in Canton, but Lydia's case grew cold. By 2017, her face was just another faded flyer, curling in the rain. In the basement, Lydia clung to fragments of herself. She scratched tally marks into the concrete with a stolen nail, counting 3,650 days. She whispered lines from The Fault in Our Stars, her favorite book from 9th grade, until the words felt like scripture. She hummed blank space to drown out the radio's sermons. Her sketchbook was gone, but she drew in her mind, imagining the Cuyahoga River's muddy curves, her mom's tired smile, the Firestone Stadium at dusk. When Ronald gave her a Bic pen to write him letters, she used it to sketch on magazine margins trees, faces, dreams. The drawings were her rebellion, proof she wasn't his angel. Her body betrayed her. Malnutrition hollowed her cheeks, loosened her teeth, her hair, once thick, thinned to brittle strands. Her period stopped by 17. Her bones ached by 20. She was 25 now, but her reflection in a cracked hand mirror showed a stranger gaunt, pale, her eyes like bruised plums. Ronald's obsession tightened like a noose. He brought her a Bible, demanding she read Psalms aloud. He gave her a tarnished promise ring, calling her his bride. She wore it, her voice flat, her compliance a performance. But deep inside, Amber glowed. She studied his habits, the creak of the stairs at 7:15 a.m., the jingle of keys, the Vin's rumble as he left for work. She hoarded bent spoons, a rusted screw, anything to pick at the deadbolt. Escape was a fantasy, but it was hers. Outside, Akron changed. The Blockbuster became a vape shop. The Taco Bell got a drive-through remodel. Kayla and Mia, Lydia's old friends, graduated college, got engaged, posted Instagram reels from Cancun. Cheryl moved to a trailer park in Barberton, her health crumbling. The city forgot Lydia. Her story buried under new tragedies: a school shooting, a factory closure. But in 2025, Ronald faltered. His drinking worsened, Jim Beam bottles piling up in his kitchen. His hands shook, his temper flared. One morning, sloppy from a late-night binge, he left the basement door ajar. The deadbolt half-turned. Lydia noticed. Her pulse hammered as she tested the handle. It gave. She crept upstairs, her bare feet sticking to the linoleum. The house was a shrine to his madness. Polaroids of her taped to the fridge, a braid of her hair framed on the wall, a notebook scrawled with Lydia, my light. The kitchen smelled of stale coffee and grease. A landline sat on the counter, its cord knotted. Her fingers shook as she dialed 911. I'm Lydia Harper, she rasped. I'm at 1427 Birchwood Drive. Please hurry. The 911 operator stayed calm, but her voice cracked with disbelief. Lydia Harper? Stay on the line, sweetheart. Help's coming. Sirens wailed within minutes, slicing through the morning fog. Ronald was at a landscaping job, oblivious, as SWAT stormed his house. Officers found Lydia on the living room couch, clutching the phone, her body curled like a question mark. Medics draped her in a blanket, her eyes squinting against the sun. Neighbors clustered on their lawns, whispering. Ron did this, one gasped, clutching her Starbucks cup. News vans screeched in. Reporters jostling for angles as helicopters thrummed overhead. At Akron General Hospital, Lydia's reunion with Cheryl was a quiet devastation. Cheryl, frail from years of addiction, sobbed into her daughter's bony shoulder. "I prayed every day," she whispered. Lydia wanted to feel whole, but 10 years had carved her hollow. The world had raced ahead. Her friends were strangers. Her school was a community center. Her MySpace page a digital relic. Nurses noted her weight, 89 pounds, and her vitamin deficiencies. Prescribing supplements and therapy, reporters camped outside. Begging for interviews, Lydia stayed silent, her story too raw to share. Ronald's arrest was swift. Police caught him at a client's yard, still holding a weed whacker. He didn't resist, his face empty as cuffs clicked on. The trial gripped the nation, fueled by Dateline specials and X-threads. Prosecutors revealed his journal, 300 pages of delusional rants. "Lydia is my salvation. My Eve." Evidence piled up: DNA, the basement's locks, a chloroform bottle in his shed. He got life without parole, his name synonymous with monster. Lydia didn't watch the verdict. She was in a therapist's office, learning to sleep without bolting awake, to eat without gagging, to trust a door left unlocked. By summer 2026, Lydia started over in Cleveland, in a studio apartment funded by a GoFundMe that hit $150,000. She enrolled at Cuyahoga Community College, studying graphic design. Her paintings filled her walls, dark canvases of the basement's shadows, pierced by streaks of gold. She painted the Cuyahoga River at night, its ripples catching city lights. Cheryl visited weekly, bringing Kroger-bought lasagna and old photo albums. They laughed over Lydia's 8th grade talent show, cried over lost years. Healing was jagged, but it was theirs. Akron didn't forget. Teens graffitied Lydia's "Free" on the old Rite Aid. A local artist painted a mural of her 9th grade photo near Goodyear Park, her smile framed by wings. Strangers left roses at her old duplex, now a rental. Lydia became a symbol: survivor, ghost, miracle. But to herself, she was just Lydia, sketching in a coffee shop, humming lover, chasing a dream she'd nursed since 15. The world was loud and vast, but she was learning its edges, one brush stroke at a time.